What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Brew Show, where we are drinking brews and talking about it. It is January 31st, and this is your Brew Crew briefing. I got JoJo here with me today, where we're just going to sit down and talk about the top headlines, the top news of the last week. JoJo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing really good, and the government opened back up. Got another 3 weeks of that. We'll see how that goes. See if this wall gets built. But I'm confused. Isn't the wall supposed to be in front of winter? Isn't that what the whole thing with the winter is coming is all about? I'm really confused. But it's all north, and if you're up north, make sure you stay safe. Those subarctic temperatures, but meanwhile, down here in Texas, I actually went outside with a t-shirt and shorts today, so be jealous.
Wow, like just rub it in to everybody out there.
But anyways, I'm drinking a Celis Porter.
Oh.
And it is a double coffee porter, and let's give it a whirl. It's actually my first time trying it, so...
Yeah, I like the fact that we were twinsies today. I'm over here drinking a Celis Grand Cru, and everyone's going to think that was 100% planned, but it was not at all.
Nope. I actually even have a six-pack in my fridge, and I just grabbed a beer at random from a Pick 6, and that was the one I grabbed.
Even better. We're going to pour this Grand Cru real quick. The triple Belgian ale. Oh my, I love Belgian triples, man. They're probably one of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump over to our disclaimer while I take a delicious taste of this Grand Cru. The information provided on the show does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice. Crypto Brew Show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Hashtag NAFAMU, not a financial advisor, my own opinions. You may hear that periodically throughout the show. And, of course, hashtag BYOB. We did. Did you? Alrighty. Moving over to our state of the market, global market cap sitting at 112 billion. Not great, but it's, it's a far reach from what we were used to back in the day. Back in my day. That's how I feel. Like that's how I feel. The market is like it. I mean, 1 week in crypto is like a month in the regular world. Like everyone has that, thought process, I guess. I don't even know, but I feel like it's been a really long time from 800 billion to 112
What is that you always say, Charlie? Back in the day, we had to go uphill both ways to get a Bitcoin.
Both ways in 3 feet of snow. Anyway, 24-hour volume of 17.6 billion. BTC dominance creeping up at 53.61%. Bitcoin sitting at the top, just under 3,500 at 34.39, down 4.6% on the 7-day. XRP Ripple sitting at number 2 at 30 cents, down 5.4%. The biggest loser in the top 5, Ethereum sitting at 105, down 10.38%. EOS sitting at number 4, $2.31 at down 6%. And then we have it's kind of weird. We have Tether sitting at number 5 actually, above Bitcoin Cash. What does that say about Bitcoin Cash?
Well, also that says volumes of the market.
Right.
See what I did there? Volumes, but
but as you could probably guess, Tether's sitting at $1.01. There's a little bit of a premium there, down 0.29%, but that doesn't really matter in that regard. But yeah, that is the state of the market.
Is that why you have the Grand Cru?
Yes.
Because it's at a premium today?
It is. Everyone's throwing their money back into Tether because the market's going the opposite way that we want it to. But yeah, so that's the market. I mean, hey, what are we gonna do? We literally can't sit here and focus on the prices. I mean, we normally don't anyway. I mean, we're in this for the long run. So, have you been able to kind of like catch any great headlines that have been going on during the week? I mean, there have been some pretty interesting ones. I know the initial one that's just off the top of my head, not Coin Telegraph. Oh my gosh, Cryptopia gets hacked again, again. What is going on with Cryptopia, Joseph?
I don't know. It didn't have too terribly much volume, and I know a majority of the coins were actually on Aurora, right? Or IDEX rather, and there wasn't too much else out there. So, I mean, this is one of those small, potatoes in the grand scheme of things. So I think they just look for an easy target, and I haven't done too much research on it, but uh, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty interesting, and it's kind of the norm. We've seen hacks as we've gone along, and things are going to get better, but they're just not there yet. And this is another example of that happening, but doesn't mean you shouldn't be in the space because right now, with Tether up in the top five, there's premiums in the market.
Oh lordy, yeah. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Like we had that episode a couple weeks ago about the top secured exchanges according to this one research company that went out. And I mean, Cryptopia was even, it was up there. I think it was in the top 50 if I remember correctly. And I mean, it was above some of the exchanges that you would normally think would be above Cryptopia. And here we are with Cryptopia being hacked again. It's not even like, if it was the first time, okay, second time, okay, but I mean, how many times does Cryptopia have to be hacked for them to be like, okay, we either need to shut down for a while so we can figure out our, or like we need to really get our shit together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know when Cryptopia initially hit IDEX, I looked into it, and they have a pretty brilliant marketing scheme. I just wonder if they spent more on the sales and marketing side of themselves than the actual space itself and understanding the development purposes of it. And that's probably why it got hacked. And but I mean, Cryptopia came up in the heat of the bull run, so I don't know. They should have had enough money around to staff some developers and really maintain that, especially with everything they've had going on. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And like we've said on the show in the past, if it's a flag, it's a flag, and clearly that's a flag. So hashtag Nafamu though.
Yeah, hashtag NAFMU, hashtag maybe don't use Cryptopia anymore. And hopefully nobody had their coins on the exchange. I mean, we've said it before, don't keep any vast amount of money on any exchange. If you do not own your private keys, you do not own your cryptocurrency. It is just as simple as that. But were there any other headlines that stood out to you this week?
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. It's not necessarily crypto related, but it kind of is. I've just been following all this McAfee stuff, man, and it has me rolling on the floor, just like crying sometimes because it is so hilarious. Like presidential election 2020, his motto is "Don't vote McAfee."
I think I saw that. No, actually, I think I saw that from you. Yeah, he's like hashtag don't vote McAfee. Like, what is that all about? You think that's just straight up reverse psychology? What is he trying to like
Well, I
get?
think there's a little bit of that, but I read into like his stances and stuff, and he actually really believes in like the free aspect of people. He's more on the libertarian side, or actually, I think he is actually running as libertarian. But yeah, so he's all about just whatever he can do to make things free. He actually even said in his policies, he's like, don't ask me about foreign policy or immigration or anything like that. So I don't know any of that stuff. But I will give you your freedom. And that's kind of the stance he's doing. So his don't vote McAfee is like actually him saying, "Hey, the government's corrupt. I'm gonna go in there, but don't just vote the name McAfee." I think he's actually saying vote for the policies.
Yeah. Uh, See, I mean, I'd back McAfee solely because of his dire in not dire enthusiasm. That's not the right word, but his enthusiasm for cryptocurrency. Like the fact that cryptocurrency is the future of money, the future of value of exchange, and just the future of technology. And there's so many things that we could do. Like he is just so gung ho on that topic that I think that would push our space forward more than say some Joe Schmo or Kanye West say
Are
for president.
the former CEO of Starbucks, who's also running in 2020, and he actually is completely against Bitcoin?
Oh Lord, I don't even know. Like, I mean, it just feels like I feel. I mean, we're getting a little bit more into the politics here, but I just feel like anybody that's anybody is like, oh, I want to run for president because I mean, if Donald Trump could do it, I certainly could do it. And I mean,
Chawag 2020.
Crypto Wag 2020. Let's go.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess a way to like kind of bring this back into the crypto space is um, the reason that McAfee's actually doing all this stuff is because he's actually evading the IRS right now, and he's actually living in the Bahamas. Um, and he hasn't paid hasn't put in a federal, or hasn't done income tax in the past 8 years. But anyways, so tying that directly into the actual crypto space, there was a article that I read that said something about 53% of crypto enthusiasts are not really going to claim their losses this year. What do you think about that, man?
They're not going to claim the losses.
Yeah, because they didn't claim their wins when they went up high.
Oh, so that I mean that's the reason. I mean, I can understand that. Like the moral dilemma is like, well, I didn't claim anything in 2017, so now that I got shit on in 2018, we're
It's like,
even. We're even, right?
yeah,
I don't think the IRS is going to fall for that. I don't think the IRS is going to, be okay with that. So, I mean, I'm not for that. I certainly don't stand by that kind of logic. I mean, everyone should pay their taxes. It's not great because the crypto sphere right now is a very gray line on, you know, crypto. Like it's really hard to find a tax person that wants to deal with crypto.
yeah, it's true. I mean, TurboTax just recently reached out with Coinbase, and they're going to start helping manage taxes there. But I think the only country out there that's like really in the space, and that's coming from Ethereum World News, is Italy announced its first set of regulations as far as like taxing cryptocurrency. So we're not even there yet. Like if Italy's like the first one, we I haven't heard anything else about taxation as far as cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, there's been those ridiculous things that the IRS has put in place where it's like you have to tax gain and loss on every single trade, and it's just like for people that trade daily, like that's ridiculous. The amount of work you're gonna have to do, and the amount of work that you're gonna have to backtrack. Like you can even, I mean, it'd be really difficult to go back and try to figure all that out. So all I want out of this entire situation is for it to get easier. Like there are some companies out there that are trying to facilitate taxes and crypto and everything, but like the exchanges, like Coinbase is doing it right. They're trying to, but all the exchanges, the wallets, everything, they need to make it so that a easy tax, whatever, export it into your tax file documents at the end of the year can just be easily exported and whatever. That would be super easy, and nobody would have to worry about it. And again, more ease of use and more adoption would happen because people don't got to worry about it. It's just like, all right, here's the numbers, because where I exchanged my crypto kept records of that, and now whatever. But then you could go on the other side of that and be like, well, I use crypto, so you can't track what I spend my money on. And I mean, there's a whole other argument of privacy coins and whatever. And I mean, that's a whole other thing. But for the sake of tax purposes, it needs to be easier. That's all I'm gonna say about that one.
Well, see, my thing is, yeah, you're right. It does need to be easier, but we're not all using the same fiat. We're not all in the same country, and that's the problem. It's like, honestly, the EU, the UAE, all these other like economic forces in the world need to come together and like come to a consensus and then make a decision about how this is going to be done, because at this point, pretty much everyone's up in the air because they're like, well, I don't know how we're supposed to tax our U.S. citizen that's using an exchange that's over in China, because over in China, they don't care about how much we need to do per trade or anything like that. I'm just making all this stuff up. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I don't know how it's going to work. We got to globally come together on this one.
No.
Hashtag cryptocurrency.
No, but for real, like there has to be some convergence on uh, a sole purpose, I guess, to like kind of broadly throw it there. I don't know. But you're right. You're right. And it's great because like the little countries are out there trying to make shit happen, and they're just pushing. They're poking at the big bears, the superpowers, and eventually they're gonna have to deal with it, whether they just shut it down and say no, this is what's happening, or whether they're like, I guess that's working, let's do it. It's still good. Like their progress is happening. I mean, whether or not you look at it as progress, but anyway, well, here's the deal. Tell me, do you want me to tell you about my beer, or do you want to tell me about your beer? Because actually, I want
Uh,
to hear about your beer.
all right.
I
Well, let
want you
me.
to point to your beer on. You're pretty
Hey,
far. That was pretty close. So you're pretty far away from it.
I was.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you pointed in the right direction either way. But
Hey,
the Celis Porter, man, tell me what that's like.
I'm the weatherman.
Close, so close.
But
You're just that
I'll, I'll
you're the
I'll
pretty
figure it out.
you're the pretty weatherman that was just hired for their body, and it's just look at me and try and listen. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Ah, nice.
But anyways, yeah. So this double coffee porter is actually pretty awesome tasting. As far as the mouthfeel is concerned, it's actually a little bit lighter bodied. Um, doesn't have as like strong a mouthfeel, so it's not like milk in your mouth. Uh, but it's actually really awesome. 7% alcohol content, but surprisingly, you actually don't feel the bite of that. And as far as the aroma profile, it's like straight coffee. So
Really?
yeah, it tastes really good. Smells awesome, and honestly, this is a really good beer. Really good coffee beer, and I definitely taste the malts and a little bit of chocolate flavor when it hits the palate. But other than that, it's pretty refreshing, and that's kind of what the oddity is, because normally you think about a double and even a porter, and you think about it just kind of like hitting you hard and just like lingering. But this one, take it back, and it tastes really good, and it goes down smooth.
That's oddly specific, and I feel like that was what I was gonna say about my beer, which is normally a porter and a Belgian style triple ale are vastly different, which I'm sure they are. I'm sure the porter that you're drinking is definitely a little bit more heavy on the mouth than the Belgian style triple ale. but I'll show you guys the can again here. But yeah, no, this Grand Cru is absolutely delicious. The second that you just give it a good taste on the lips, like it's smooth, it's sweet, it's very aromatic. Like it's not, I don't want to say it's floral, but there is there's a lot of stuff to pick up when you smell it. But it definitely has a sweet. It's not too sweet though. Like I don't like super sweet beers, and even some
Don't you love fruit beers, man?
yes and no, but we won't get into that. But anyway, yeah. So it's got that sweet kind of. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's weird. It's that weird.
Well, I mean, what's the alcohol content? Because you probably have like a higher alcohol content since it's a triple, and so you've probably got the sweet, sweet malt, but it's really mellowed out by the alcohol.
I'm gonna say right now, I want to say 8.5. Their can in my lighting is so hard to read. I think it's 8.5%. But even then, you would expect a beer with that high of alcohol content to have a little bit of a bite to it, and this one does not at all. Like it not at
Do
all.
you do you need Bubby Juju's
I
glasses?
need I need the glasses, man. Or I just need better lighting. That might do it too. But anyway, no, this one's absolutely delicious. And if any of it, if you have been around for a while, we actually ended up. I was at Celis Brewery when I was down in Austin, and we did a show out there, and all their beers are absolutely delicious. And they actually like their Celis raspberry beer and their Celis white. They actually mix them together like as a beer, and it is delicious. So as crazy as it was that we both picked Celis beers, and again, no one's gonna believe that we randomly picked the same brewery. But I'm so happy that we randomly picked the same brewery because, dude, Celis is awesome. And definitely shout out to Celis. If you're ever in Austin, definitely check out Celis Brewery. They have a great story. And I mean, it was super awesome. They have a great brewery. It was awesome. They were super. What's the word? Welcoming. Super welcoming. This 8.5 or 6 or whatever it is getting to me. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. If you guys happen to stumble upon Austin, Texas, definitely check out Celis Brewery. But let's get into a couple more stories here. What else was going on this week, JoJo? Do we know? Do we know what's going on this week? I don't even know if we know what's going
Well,
on this week.
I know there were a couple of cool things that Rowan mentioned to us, but he's not here today. But um, he had some really cool insights, and like in Germany, one of the cryptocurrencies that's actually being used at like their Uber Eats style venues, so you can order a pizza or whatever through them, and you can pay using Bitcoin. They're actually using the BitPay card, I believe. I think they're actually, and this is coming from dailyhodl.com,
Hmm.
and it's a pretty interesting story because everyone loves to eat, and I know I utilize Uber Eats way too much, and if I could use some of my cryptocurrency for it, even better.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. Um, let's see what else we got. What else we got? Man. Oh, that's right. Coinstar. Coinstar. Okay, do you remember seeing like okay, actually let's bring it back. So you're at your local grocery store, you go and, do your thing, buy some groceries, and you get to the checkout and you're at the checkout paying for your stuff, and you look over to the like back wall of the grocery store where kind of the exit is but not really, and you see a big machine, big green machine with like coins on it, and it says Coinstar. Have you ever used a Coinstar, or do you even know what a Coinstar is?
Yeah, I know what a Coinstar is, and
Okay.
I've used one before, and I am the crypto crew juice. I take my Jew candy there quite frequently, and I
Yeah.
deposit there.
So there. Okay.
That's only when I want to save time, because normally I'll just roll it personally because I get to save the 2 or 3% that it takes from me at that machine.
Okay. Well, here you go. Instead of rolling it personally and taking it to the bank, now you could take your Jew candy to the Coinstar at your local grocery store and get crypto for it. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Like I want to go through. I want to go through all my. I'm gonna walk out my door right now. I'm gonna go to all my neighbors' couches, and I'm gonna go collect every single piece of Jew candy that are on all those couches, and I am going to go get me some Bitcoin and or Ethereum. Yes. What are your like? This is awesome, is it not?
Well, I need about $3,400, 3,400 Sacagawea coins, and I'll make something happen with it. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. For anyone that doesn't know, Sacagawea is the dollar equivalent in coin for the U.S. fiat disaster currency. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Fiat, the U.S. is not. The U.S. fiat system is not a disaster yet, but it's coming, man. Hashtag NAFA move.
Speaking of other stuff about the United States, I saw an article and it said that we actually dropped in the United States in corruptibility in our government, like another 20 spots with Trump being in the White House. Just putting that out there.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about politics. It's just sad. There's a big old laughing stock. Um, any other headlines that stood out to you this week?
Well, taking a look at Cointelegraph right now, Fidelity's cryptocurrency platform enters final testing stages, and I think that's pretty cool because Fidelity is like one of the biggest financial institutions as far as investment strategies are concerned here in the United States. So as soon as they bring that live, um, for those of you that are not willing to use like Robinhood, and you have money that's already invested in Fidelity, you know what? You got your 401k or your IRA um, investments rolling over every paycheck or every month. You know, throw a couple bucks towards the crypto side, and it may benefit you in the long run. So I think that'll be pretty cool once that finally goes live.
No, I 100% agree with you. That's awesome. One one headline that came on the 29th from the same Cointelegraph was says world's largest gun auction site gunbroker.com to add stablecoin freedom coin, and I'm quote unquote there. Uh, your face right now. Okay, hold on. What were you? What was your initial thought right there? Just hearing that for the first time.
Oh man, I just got a vision of some like really like crazy rednecks just in the back of like a super rusted out like 1980s F-150, and they have the gun rack in the back, and then simultaneously in my head I had a flash to Wayne's World, and Wayne's World in that movie they actually cut to a scene where this like crazy girl is trying to give Wayne a gun rack, and he's like, I don't even have one gun. I don't have guns to put on that rack. That's all what went through my head right there. And then Trump supporters.
Um, your thought process there was completely different than mine. Mine was, what the hell is Freedom Coin? Besides the fact that it's a stable coin, like why not just use one of the stable coins that are already out there? Why does everybody need a stable coin? Like I understand that people want to get their share in the maybe the block rewards or the fees or whatever, but I'm sorry, there are not going to be 300,000 stable coins out there. There are going to be like a top 5 stable coins, and people are going to use them kind of like, again, kind of like world currencies. They're just maybe every country is going to have their own stablecoin, and then it'll kind of mutate from there. Actually, there's a whole other argument. Like, do you think there's just going to be one stablecoin to rule them all, or is there going to be a few because of the different, like, I don't want to say algorithms that they use, but the different, whether or not it's backed by an actual gold, silver, oil, like the freaking petro, or backed by fiat currency, pegged to a fiat currency. Do you think there's going to be one, or do you think that they're going to be kind of be all over the place for the foreseeable future?
All right, so I got a couple of remarks on that, and I just want to go ahead and give all of you guys that don't know what Freedom Coin is. It's
Oh God.
it's a waving American flag, right? And then there's a screeching eagle in front of it, and that's Freedom Coin. That's what I got out of Freedom Coin. And then other than that, Venezuela, a lot of the governmental agencies there are actually pushing more for Bitcoin now instead of the petro, which is pretty interesting. I thought, but I think to go back to your first item of discussion, and that was, do you think there's going to be one coin to rule them all? I think it depends on how open the world is to opening themselves up for this space. Because if we need fiat currency and we continue to have to utilize that, we're going to have a plethora of stable coins. But if we back and Bitcoin becomes a store of value, and we have coins that are backing off of Bitcoin as their repository or anything like that, then theoretically there could be one coin that could be the stable coin. But with fiat and the governmental agencies of the world as they are, I don't think it's going to happen for the foreseeable future.
Fair enough. And talking about stablecoins, I mentioned the oil-backed coins, and I mentioned the petro. Real quick, what are your thoughts on the whole situation in Venezuela? That gets more political than not, but we'll stick to the cryptocurrency side of it. Maduro was backing the petro and created the petro. Do you think I don't remember his competitor's name, but do you think that the petro will still be a thing if and when he gets overruled, or do you think that, I mean, the competitor said at one point that he was more on the side of Bitcoin than the actual petro. So what do you think happens there?
Well, I think it just all comes up to the country itself. The corruptibility in the political system there is a major factor, because if a democratic presence is known, there could be a lot of pride for the petro coin, especially now since it's already been put in place and it's an established coin. There may be like, hey, this is our coin. We want to keep it going. We want to keep sticking to it. But I think there's definitely, some wayward flags on that front. And it's kind of just going to come out in the wash. And I don't think we're going to see whether or not the petro goes away or subsides in value until that actually happens.
Right. No, I agree with you there. I love that they made an effort, but I mean, certainly time will tell. So, pretty interesting there. All right, Jojo. Well, man, that was, I like those headlines, and I hope everyone else liked those headlines that we talked about. We're trying a new format, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, we're just sitting here talking about headlines, talking about the most relevant info on our crypto Brew Crew briefing, and yeah. So any last minute comments, thoughts, concerns?
Well, this is actually to you guys out there in the audience. These formats that we have, the stuff that we've been going through, the headline show that we had, and the show that we're doing now, it's all to benefit you guys. So if you like this, or if you liked any other style of show that we've had before, or you have any information to make this show better, please like, subscribe, give us your comments, let us know what's up, and we can go from there because this is for you. We on our end, we really enjoyed like talking to each other and just doing our own research and finding some stuff that we really like to talk about. And that's kind of how we came together, you know? So that's why we're bringing it back to these roots. But if it's not something you guys are digging, then just let us know and we'll find another way. All right?
That was beautiful. And real quick, I probably shouldn't say this, but if any of you, we didn't post last week. We've been kind of absent, if you will. Had nothing to do. We had a post on our Facebook about somebody saying we didn't pay them for our logo. And I just want to clear that straight from the horse's mouth. Our logos are 100% paid for. They're free and clear. Our invoices paid. So anything that's posted otherwise is completely false. So I just wanted to put that out there for that in that regard. But no, you're absolutely right, guys. Any Joe, guys, anybody that has any just suggestions for the show, just throw them down in the comments, man. We read them. We read all the comments, and we are just working out our kinks and just trying new things because we're gonna keep doing this regardless of whether we keep doing the show. I mean, we talk every week anyway. So it's more or less just us putting out the information that we research and provide, and then just trying to help anyone else that maybe doesn't have the time to do the research. So we're just trying to figure out the best format to help you guys the most and also help us, because I know Joe said we're not doing this for us, but we are doing this for us on top of doing it for you, because that's how it all started. So anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure, JoJo. Hopefully we can get Roan on next week. I think we actually might have Oaks on next week too, so that'll be exciting. So anyway, JoJo, I'm gonna cheers you. You can't see me. You haven't been able to see me this entire time, but
That's okay, man. It's all good, but yeah, I mean, we're all family and all of our viewers are family too, so don't hesitate to reach out to us.
absolutely. If you need to reach out to JoJo, he is actually by Crypto Grandma on Twitter at Lamb8989. And if you care to follow me, I'm at Crypto Wag. Yeah, so pretty exciting stuff. Check out www.cryptobrew.show for more info, more videos, more things. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.